Hello and welcome to Game Week 10. I can't believe we're 10 rounds in, and this time it's time for the differentials that are going to boost your Game Week rank this week. Now, the best place that I can start is Erling Haaland. The Haaland. He's gone. I've transferred him out. I'm one of the people that have done it. I can't believe a couple of weeks ago I was saying I can't believe people are transferring him out. And here I am. I have done it. I'm committing to the ultimate differential this game week and getting rid of him. The main reason is because there are so many good forward options that are producing just as many points as he is that cost almost a third of his price, which means you can then load up in the midfield. Let's find out what I've come up with for this game week. Differentials, let's jump straight into it. All right, so look, let's just talk about my Erling Haaland decision. You can see there he's currently gone from my team. I'm not on wildcard yet. I'm still thinking about it. No one's risen in price that I'm concerned about, but we are going to go down here and we're going to look at the reason why I have moved the Norwegian cyborg out of my team. Look, he just hasn't delivered as I expected him to deliver. I mean, look, he scored 11 goals in 9 game weeks. And realistically, how many goals can you expect him to score in 9 game weeks? Will he score 11 in the next 9? Quite possibly. But there's going to be weeks where he's just not going to deliver any points at all. And the run of fixtures for the City coming up is definitely a lot harder than the run of fixtures we've had. I mean, he started the season with Chelsea. Then he had the Ipswich home fixture, which has been and gone. He's had the Southampton home fixture, which has been and gone. He's played West Ham away and they've been god-awful. He played Brentford at home and they don't travel away well from home. He did well against Arsenal, and then other games where you expect him to deliver, he just hasn't been delivering. And I think when you look at the fixtures coming up, you can sell him. I mean, realistically, when do I want him back? Well, now that Erik ten Hag has been sacked as manager, I don't think I want him back for the Man United fixture anymore. And we'll get on to the Manchester United players and what that means for fantasy a little bit later on in terms of differentials. But I want him back probably for game week 18. So that's 9 weeks, well, 8 weeks that I can go without him, I think, in my team and have better options. I obviously want him for that block from 18 through to 22 when they've got Ipswich. But then I probably want to get rid of him again. So at the moment, that is the play. I think he's at 73.4% ownership. It is dropping. It hasn't dropped by much. People like me are making the move. We're trying to give you a little bit of foresight. That is my best differential I can give you this week. Erling Haaland, if you can do it, I'm taking a -4 to actually do it as well. So that's how committed I am to this differential. And there's a few other players we'll get to that I'm going to talk about as well. So moving into the goalkeepers this week. Now, it was a bit hard because goalkeepers just haven't been keeping clean sheets, and trying to work out which ones are going to keep clean sheets is like hit and miss from week to week. But this week, I've narrowed it down. So Nottingham Forest have been really good in terms of their underlying defensive numbers. And I'm not a big fan of the Arsenal game that's coming up in game week 12 or the City game in game week 14. But other than that, I think they're going to be pretty good defensively. And Sell's underlying stats have been pretty good. I mean, he's got pretty decent points. He obviously got the assist on the weekend as well, which is a nice little bonus for his owners. But, you know, he has kept a few clean sheets in there. And he's got a couple of save points as well. I mean, I don't know what else you want from a goalkeeper. They all seem to be conceding goals from week to week. It's really just pot luck, but he's my best shout, particularly for this game week. I've then gone with a couple of others. So Jordan Pickford, he's been on here the last 2 weeks. There's a reason his fixtures are really good. I know he blanked on the weekend. I thought potentially they were going to keep a clean sheet against Fulham, but they did not. But I expect him to do well this week. They've got Southampton away. You would almost locking him in for a clean sheet there. West Ham away, again, ditto. I don't think West Ham are very good. Man United just made them look good in the second half. Brentford at home and Man United away, and then Wolves at home. I think the next 5 weeks, he's still probably the best goalkeeper you can target. He is very close to a price rise. If you're thinking about bringing him in, make sure you do it ASAP. Now, someone else that hasn't been getting a lot of love, is only owned by 2.5% of the competition, is Bernd Leno from Fulham. Now, Fulham's run the next 3 weeks looks pretty good on paper. It's Brentford home, Crystal Palace away, Wolves at home, Spurs away, and then Brighton at home. I don't like it from game week 15 onwards. It gets a lot harder for the next 4 weeks after that. But if you're looking for a short-term play, if you've got a wild card in game week 12 or around that time, Bernd Leno's a really good differential pick in goal that not many people have. And he might just deliver you some points. Now, the other one, and this isn't really a differential because heaps of people own him, but Fabianski started in goal for West Ham and is definitely worth a look. I mean, if he starts again at 4 million, he's got Forest away and Everton at home. I know he's owned by 17.2% of the competition. He is someone you could realistically look to start playing in goal. Definitely someone you should be looking and considering, I feel, at this particular moment in time. Now, moving on to the midfielders for this week. There are a few. Actually, sorry, defenders. I've skipped one. I knew there was someone I was missing there. My apologies. Now, defenders are the same point as the goalkeepers. They are struggling to keep clean sheets. So I've tried to basically not go for any premium defenders here at all and just pick out weird names that potentially they've got good underlying numbers. And the first one I'm going to start off is Luca Dean. Now, he is owned by 8.7%, and Villa do have some hard fixtures coming up. They've got Spurs away and Liverpool away. 2 really difficult weeks coming up. However, I think that he's capable. He's on obviously a lot of set piece duties for Aston Villa. I think that that's what you want to target. You want to target, and look, the last 3 weeks, he's delivered points. He's obviously got 2 clean sheets against Man United, and he got taken off strategically before they conceded against Bournemouth. And obviously Fulham, he got an assist there when they conceded. So he's actually got quite a few assists. Game week 4, game week 3, 1 assist there as well to boost his score. So look, I think at 4.7, he's a really cheap alternative, and he is going to probably potentially get you some sort of attacking returns. Now, one man that I can't believe, and I did have to double check this, Ashley Young. He has delivered the last 5 weeks. Can you believe that? So he's actually got 3 assists over the last 5 weeks. And then obviously he's kept 2 clean sheets as well in that time. So look, I can't believe I'm recommending someone that I feel is as my age, and I'm 38. I feel like he's potentially very close to 38 if he's not actually 38. But at 4.5 million, Everton's fixtures, as I said earlier, are still really good. Southampton away this week, you wouldn't back against him delivering you some more points. Up until game week 15, he does look, and if he stays fit, him and Molienko, really good shouts in the defence. I prefer Ashley Young because he seems to be a bit more durable than Molienko. Molienko seems to go off injured quite a lot. So I would refrain from going there. Again, Michael Keane's still an option, but Jared Braithwaite came back in the last game week, which makes Michael Keane a lot less enticing for me moving forward. All right, the next one we've got Davis. Now, Davis finally returned for, I'm going to have to go searching for him because he's probably going to be a fair way down this list. There he is, Davis. So, look, he got an assist on the weekend. Unfortunately, he conceded 4 goals, so he only got 2 points, which is a little bit disappointing. And look, he's returned obviously in game week 3 and game week 4. He got the assist in one of those weeks and obviously 1 clean sheet. And that's the problem with Ipswich. They just haven't been keeping clean sheets. However, they've got Leicester at home this game week. Then it's followed by Spurs. And then they've got an easy run of fixtures. And you'd expect with the numbers that he's been putting up, like the XG that he's been putting up in terms of assists has been quite high. It's inevitable that Ipswich are going to score goals and hopefully he's going to get a few assists. So I'm not thinking he's going to keep a clean sheet, but I think he's someone you could target potentially that will get you some sort of attacking returns moving forward. And the other one for this game week, I have to go back to the front page here, is my mate that's in my team, James Justin. Now, they've got the Ipswich fixture, and I watched the game against Nottingham Forest, and he was bombing forward, and he could have been involved in a goal, but alas, he wasn't. I think the Ipswich away fixture this week makes James Justin a really good target in terms of differential pick. Again, a nice price point at 4.6. He does have that attacking upside in him. But the XG tells me that he wasn't involved, but I'm telling you, I watched him and he was quite involved. I think that he will deliver this week against Ipswich. That's just my personal shout. The Chelsea home game and the Man United away game, the Man United fixture now becomes a bit of a weird one. It should be great because no one really knows what's going to happen and how long they're going to be under a caretaker manager for. All right, moving into the midfield. And we have, this week, there are some nice names in here yet again that I haven't mentioned before. Now, Jared Bowen has been on my radar for the last 3 weeks, since that Ipswich game where he scored a goal and got an assist. And this week I'm going to give him a shout out. He obviously, some dubious VAR decision enabled Jared Bowen to be able to take a penalty. So that was a bonus in and of itself. But look, they've got a couple of nice fixtures coming up. They've got obviously Nottingham Forest away, Everton at home, and obviously West Ham going to have a bit of a bounce now. They got a win against Man United. Maybe that spurs them on. Jared Bowen's obviously the captain. I feel like his ownership will rise from 5.8%, and obviously he has dropped in price from the start of the season. He's a nice price point for a little bit of differential that isn't going to cost you a 10 million like a Saka or something like that. If you want to save a bit of money, maybe spend a bit more on your defence, he's the perfect option, I think, that potentially is going to get you some points. Now, bar the Newcastle and Arsenal games that are in game weeks 12 and 13, West Ham's run through to game week 19 is amazing. And they have Southampton in there, Leicester in there, Wolves in there. There's going to be goals and assists for Jared Bowen. Definitely someone I would be highly recommending moving forward. Now, outside of him, Alex Iwobi from Fulham. Now, he's got a couple of massive hauls this year. So he's obviously scored in game week 2. He assisted in game week 5, and he had a big haul against Everton with the 3 bonus points and a goal scored against Everton away from home. Now, Fulham's next 3 fixtures are really good. They've got Brentford at home, Crystal Palace away, Wolves at home. And then it's Spurs away and then Brighton at home. He's only costing you 5.5 million, and he's only in 1.4% of teams, but he is definitely worth a shout. I don't think he's going to be scoring every week, but his numbers aren't horrible. Like against Man City, he had an XG of assists of 0.44. Like his numbers are there. I think potentially he can get you a few returns. And he's getting minutes. He's playing 90 minutes most game weeks. So I think he's a real bargain basement look this potential game week. Then we've got another one here. I've just pulled this one out of curiosity because I was like, who the hell is this bloke? But when I did some research, I don't even know how to say his name. I'm going to say Giorgino Ruta. I think that's how you say it. Look, his last 4 weeks have been amazing. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists over the last 4 game weeks. He hasn't blanked in the last 4 weeks, and they've played Chelsea away, Tottenham at home, Newcastle away, Wolves at home. I mean, the caveat is the next 2 weeks, Liverpool away, Man City at home. Is he really going to get you any points? But it's just someone I wanted to flag because in game week 12, when Brighton's run of fixture turns, he looks like a great option, particularly if they have any injuries in those areas. I think he's a nailed on. His ownership of 1.3% at 5.5 million is 100% going to rise from here on out. The next 2 I want to talk about. Now, these 2 have not been performing well at all. Let's be honest. I have to actually go onto the second page to find both of these players. However, Manchester United are no longer being managed by Erik ten Hag. Now, this is a really risky play, but I would imagine that Marcus Rashford is going to probably come back into some scoring form. This is a real risky pick because he might not. He obviously has done next to nothing this season, a bit like Manchester United. He scored a goal against Southampton and he's got 1 assist against Brentford. He's returned twice in 9 weeks. Bruno Fernandes, when we look at him, has been even worse. But the fixtures don't lie. Chelsea at home, I think they're going to score. I think they're going to be a new manager bounce. And I really like Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. I mean, Marcus Rashford's an interesting price. He's 6.9 million, only owned by 3% of the comp now as well. This might be my blind Man United faith coming through, but I really like the look of him. I think if he gets picked for Ruud van Nistelrooy, we could see Marcus Rashford return to some really good form. Wouldn't be surprised if he scored this weekend. Would not be surprised. The other one, obviously, as I talked about, is Bruno Fernandes. Now, this is an interesting one as well. He has done next to nothing. Also, actually, he has returned in 2 weeks. He's got, obviously, the assist against Southampton. He obviously scored the assist last week against Brentford as well. But he's obviously had the red card in there. And, look, his XG numbers, he should have returned more. Let's be honest. He had 1.19 expected goals against Fulham, 0.46 expected goals against West Ham. He is due a goal. Like, he's got to get a goal. I feel like if there's a man that's going to kickstart the new era, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. And let's talk FPL. Maybe that's what he was holding him for when Manchester United sack Ten Hag, Bruno Fernandes would wake back up and we'd have our player back again. Look, I think he could be a really good differential. It's a bit of a wild one out there. I am throwing some wild ones this week, but I feel like these guys have been overlooked. And the idea of differentials is players that are not owned by many people. And I just feel like these guys could potentially deliver you some goals. Now, I really like Nicholas Jackson, but he's not much of a differential. A lot of people actually own him. And obviously, Raul Jimenez, I talked about him last week. He's still a really good option this week. He's still only owned by 10%. And Fulham's next run, the next 3 weeks, is really good. I just don't like him from like game week 13 through to 16, maybe even through to 18. I think there's better options, which is why I'm not mentioning him this week. But the bloke I've brought in to replace Haaland, I'm mentioning him. I can't believe he's still only owned by 3.3% of the comp. This dude scored again and got 3 bonus points against Brighton in the comeback draw there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 9 game weeks he's returned. And he's had the hard fixtures and we're into the green, baby. Wolves are into the green. Like Out Nori, he's a great differential as well. I didn't mention him before because of the fact that almost every man and his dog is jumping on him. He's scored 3 goals now, I think, in fantasy this season as a defender. You've got to bring him in. I know he's 1 yellow card away from the ban, but I think he's definitely someone you can definitely go with. And look at that run. It is all green from here on in, baby. Crystal Palace at home, Southampton at home. How many goals is he going to score there? Who knows? And this goes for Strand Larsen as well. Strand Larsen has the same lot of fixtures. Ipswich is at home as well there, and Leicester in this run, and Everton are in this run. I mean, like, this is an amazing run. Him and Strand Larsen, if I do wildcard, I'm actually thinking of bringing them both in to my team. I feel like potentially both of them could pop off. And like they're both starting every game week. Obviously Strand Larsen plays slightly less time. He has been coming off slightly earlier, but he's always been playing at least 60 minutes. I think he's definitely someone that you should definitely be considering. Wissa, I actually can't believe that now he's back. I said last week he was in this video as well. He's definitely remaining in that video for at least the next 4 weeks, potentially even 5. I think against Villa they'll struggle, but the next 3 weeks still look pretty good. Fulham away, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, Leicester at home. The next 4 weeks still look amazing. He's owned by 3.8% now. He probably will rise in price before the game week deadline, but he is definitely someone else that I'm really keen and interested in. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about for this game week is Alexander Isak. Now, this is a weird one. I had him at the start of the season, and look, he's done next to nothing. He obviously scored. I've obviously got the assist in week 1. He scored in game week 3. Then he's been injured in week 6 and 7. He only played 45 minutes in game week 4. He came back earlier than expected from his toe, whatever injury he had. So Brighton were obviously there, and he obviously scored against Chelsea away. Now, the caveat is he's got Arsenal at home this week. So Arsenal have been giving up goals the last 4 weeks. I think potentially there is a chance that Newcastle can score a goal. And if they're scoring a goal, Alexander Isak's going to be involved. He's 12.6% owned, but then they've got Forest away, West Ham at home, Palace away. Liverpool's a tough fixture, but then it really opens up for Newcastle from there. And they don't really have many hard fixtures between game weeks 15 and 25. So look, Isak is definitely someone that's dropped in price that I'm strongly considering. That is what I'm rounding out my game week differentials with this week. Let me know what you think. If I missed anyone this week that, like going, that guy should be in your video, let me know. Make sure if you've liked it as well that you smash the like button. And if you're new and you haven't subscribed, please just press the subscribe button. The link to our WhatsApp group chat where we can talk all things FPL is in the description for the video. I hope to see you for my wildcard draft builder tomorrow. Thanks for watching. The D Unit out.